Cool, so welcome to the very first episode. This is your girl Delilah, and this is Table Talk with the Homies. And I'm so excited. The very first episode is something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. But I'm first going to get started with introducing my co-host, which is Anita, a baddie from Pilsen. She is the mother of Emma Lozano. She is part of the Lozano Empire of activists, community leaders. She's also the sister of Tanya Lozano. She's a boss. So I just want to say thank you so much for pulling up and being my co-host. And I'll let everybody else go ahead and introduce themselves. We'll start with Dee Dee the Goat.
So I'm Dee Dee the Goat. This is my mom. She's also co-host. So I run merchandise management at Helping Good Shine. I also work very closely with Delilah, with the Mirror Movement and stuff like that. I'm very happy to be here.
Cool thing about Dee Dee the Goat is that I've been in their life for a very, very long time. Didn't even know it. I got my first basketball stardom with their dad. We won the championship in Portage Park. So don't get it twisted. Your girl can play basketball. So yeah.
Come on. All right, what's good, family? My name is Mashan Ali. I'm a restorative justice practitioner, educator, artist. I own Trap House Chicago, a restorative justice-based streetwear brand. That's like the work and my passion. And I'm just a whole community member, keeping it a whole buck. I love all people, with the emphasis on, feel me, black and brown. And I'm geeked up to be here. I'm excited, you know? Come on.
What's up? I'm Ryu Soul, part of Rackham Entertainment, and I'm also a calisthenics athlete. Catch us at Harrison Park every summer on 18th Street or Marquette Park. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I'm a Head 5312 from Chicago, from Rackham Entertainment. We do community stuff out here, and trying to change the neighborhood one rapper at a time.
And I just wanted to say how I actually met El Jefe, or actually found him. It really started in summer, June 2020. I was scrolling on Instagram. This is when we were in the midst of everything doing protests. And he started this Black Love, Brown Pride Chicago challenge. And I thought that just was so different how he was talking. I thought was like, man, that's a real community leader, a real boss. And so I just started following him and really supporting and encouraging him. And he just started pulling up to everything Tanya and I do. He's been part of the community, part of all of our tribute murals, toy drives, food drives, turkey drives. He's been down since day one, and I'm truly honored to have all of y'all here right now. So I just wanted to start by saying this all came about because it's Women's Month, and I wanted to create a dialogue amongst people on how men could better support women in our journey. But it first started with that, and then I thought it could just roll into some other things. Now, the reason why I picked these three gentlemen is because I've always felt since day one they supported myself, my mission, and my journey. So I just wanted to talk with them so that way we could have a conversation on how other men out there could better support us women. So I wanted to start with the very first question, and we'll start with having Mashan answer this. And the very first question is, what is your definition of a boss, of an empowered woman, and when did you first see a woman or a boss? How old were you, and what were the qualities that made you think that this person was a boss?
Okay. What do I think a boss is? For me, I'm not gonna be long thinking or long talking. I'm gonna go straight to a perspective and like ride it and hope that I stand on it when I'm done saying what I'm saying. Cause y'all don't know, I be overthinking. Not overthinking, like I will think before I speak to ensure that it's in alignment with how I actually feel, you know? So when I think about a boss, it's like in a traditional sense, it's someone who has the vision and skill set to communicate and execute. And like the execution results in some type of currency or impact. So thinking about like a human whose gender is female, like a woman's boss is like their vision and ability to execute is like their vision for their life. And like not getting caught up in like perspectives outside of like perspectives that other people are putting on how you may or may not express yourself. You know, it's like if you do get caught up, you ain't getting caught up to the point where it stops you from moving and making progress. So like simply a boss to me, a female boss, a woman that is a boss, is a woman who got a vision for their life, a vision for their community, and actually are doing what it requires to bring it about, you know. That's one way when I think about like outward expression. Or you can just be doing what it takes to like love your life, like self-care, you know what I'm saying? Or just work a job and just living your life. So the first time I seen that woman do that, how old was I? Truthfully, I can say, my mother, I feel, 100%. It's a joke, too. I feel obligated to say my mom. That's a joke.
But that,
You know what
that's
I'm
a
saying?
fact.
Yeah.
Come on. And keeping it a buck, my mom, outside of my mom and my sister. My mom and my sister. And then outside of my house, outside of my family, it's this woman, Kathleen Mosley. She was like my actual first boss. I was volunteering and like she was executing the vision for community impact to the point where she was empowering me to do things that was necessary. So my mama, Linda Hendricks, my sister, Ava Hendricks, and Kathleen Mosley, like the actual first boss that actually employed me when I was 19, 20 years old. So long ass answer and straight to the point. So I'm proud of myself.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
Now it's you. When is the first time you noticed? What is the definition of an empowered woman, a boss? And what is the age you may have noticed one? And what are the qualities that made you feel that this woman is a leader, a boss, or an empowered woman?
To be honest, I can't remember the first time, but like you said, it'll be my mom. But besides all that though, like, it'll be a strong-minded woman. Like, how can you take adversity? Like, are you gonna fold? You know what I'm saying? How you carry yourself through social media and through in person. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Like, I think that's just boss. Cause you could have all the like material shit in the world, but at the end of the day, you weak-minded. Like,
Yeah.
your soul is weak. You make poor choices. You know what I'm saying? You let people influence you. You let that poison get into you, you know?
Yeah.
So that to me ain't a boss, even
Yeah.
if you rich or you
Yeah.
tell people what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a boss ain't just telling people what to do. It just got
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, you
It's
know
like a
what I'm
vibe.
Right, that's why I said earlier, like, energy speaks for itself. You can say all you want, but that shit speak for itself, you know? And like my mom, I mean, like he said, she raised 3 boys on her own. You know what I'm saying? My pops did, and then my 2 brothers, their father, he did the other picture too, so she did that shit on her own, you know what I'm saying? So that to me is some bullshit, you know?
Come on.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah. Go ahead though.
Same thing, my mom. You know what I mean? Like, she made something happen out of nothing. She was like a paisita lady. She came from Mexico. And then she wanted to be a sheriff. She learned English. And you know what I'm saying? She's a county sheriff, and she made it happen.
Come on.
Yeah, she retired already. She did that for 30 years. Yeah, she was working Division 9. She was working Division 5 when they were coming in. Yeah, in the jail.
Come
You know what I mean?
on.
She was like the mom of the guys in there.
Yeah, come
You know
on.
what I'm saying? Yeah, so. Yeah, my mom. Yeah. Yeah, so you know what I mean? And she went through a lot of stuff, but I mean, we bounced from shelter to shelter. At the end of the day, she got a job. She was always working, trying to make something happen out of nothing. You know what I mean? That was the first boss I saw right there.
I enjoy, part of it is I be overthinking, because I be aware of like there's multiple perspectives that are from like a sound understanding or lived experience. And hearing you say, you like, all respect to your mother, hearing you say that your mom was like a motherly figure inside, right, the system, like a boss, like I can imagine somebody's perspective is like a boss woman is someone who can hold her femininity.
Like a nurturing woman.
Come on, in all aspects. Not saying weakness, not saying none of that, not equating none of that, but like
Playing her role.
come on, and just like being loving, or whatever that motherly, I'm not even gonna try to double click because I don't know, but like that motherly energy, that nurturing energy in the system, that's cold. That's a boss to me as well,
She knew my steps were wrong. You know what I'm saying? Whatever I was doing back in the day, she seen those kids as me. Like, man, maybe one day he's gonna be here.
Come
so
on.
instead of treating them like inmates, she was treating them like like, man, I see my kid in this guy. You know what I mean?
Come on.
Yeah.
And to this day, one of the guys came out already. He's like, man, I love that woman.
Come
She
on.
took care of us. She took care of us in there. She was always telling me. It happened to me one time, and she was like, yeah, she was crying and telling me, man, you know, this guy don't want to change, and this and that. I got shot. So she was telling one of the guys in there, like, this guy don't want to change, and this and that. And, you know what I mean?
Come on.
She had that interaction with the guys in there. And they respected her, because for a woman to be in jail, it's like, this story is like, it's bad. Guys be doing all kinds of stuff, calling my names. For her to be my mom, and the guys inside know that she was my mom, it kind of like, she had a little bit of respect in it.
Well, she treated them like a person or like
Yeah,
a son or
yeah.
like a family member.
Yeah, she saw
rather
me.
than
Yeah.
like how we
Yeah.
get treated like animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. She had that empathy because her
Yes,
son.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because she was a boss.
Yeah. she was-
Now that's some real boss shit right there.
Come on.
So Daisha, I know that you come from a long line of bosses,
Ah, come on.
but I wanted to get your definition of an empowered woman boss. What age did you know you were like, I'm here?
Yeah. I can already feel the daggers right now. My definition of a boss woman would be, so like I was talking with my brother Rashawn over here, a lot of people when they think of a boss woman, they think of somebody that's like making big money, making big moves, stuff like this. For me, I think a boss woman is somebody that's just doing above more than everybody else. It could be somebody that's a stay-at-home mom. It could be somebody that's just,
Come on.
you know, doing whatever it is that they got to do to make ends meet. Somebody that came from something that was nothing and made it into something. So for me, I think my definition of a boss woman is just a boss, period, that just so happens to be a woman. In that sense, it's like somebody that's doing something, that's taking care of their kids, because at that point, that's already a boss. That's a full-time job if you're taking care of kids. And I know from my mom's perspective, I'm her only kid, but she was a single mom for all of my life. And it was like she always did something that she was either making ends meet or doing something more and then some to make sure that I had the life that I had. So I would say my first experience of having that boss woman in my life would be my mom and stuff like that. And she definitely set that tone for me because she made sure no matter what, whether she was working 2 to 3 jobs at a time, that she was getting everything done and making sure that I had what I needed to thus become a boss woman or a boss myself. And from that, it's just like, and I feel like her first take on a boss woman would be like my grandma. And in that sense, she was also that same person too, whether it was her being active politically, socially, and that stuff. And she's just an activist. She's the definition of a boss woman. She's always made sure that she did more and then some for her kids, but also everybody else around her. Because it's like, once you meet my grandma, you're automatically one of her kids. And I feel like anybody that has met her, it's automatically, oh, mija, mijo.
Yeah.
Like, oh, do you need
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
What do you need?
Yep.
And that's like
Every hood
the
got
first
that one.
definition. And I feel like everybody else can also relate to that because everybody got somebody in their family that's like an auntie, like a doña, straight up, like a lady that's from the hood, something like that. When you come to her house, she's like, what you want to eat? You need
All the
something
kids
to
go
drink?
to her crib and
Exactly.
shit.
That's where all the cousins
Yeah,
hang
yeah,
out. That's where
yeah.
everybody knows that they can get away with shit because they all
Your mom
just
kicked you
chilling
out, go
with
to
their
your
cousins.
crib.
Exactly.
And for me, that was like at my granny's house. So being at her crib, it's like, what do you need? If something's going wrong, you could go to her if there's a problem. And it's like just having those boss women in your life. And I feel like for me, when I get older, I have my kids, that's gonna, for just like my grandma was, that's how my mom's gonna be for my kids. So I feel like very early on, my mom was a very good example. My grandma, my aunts, all the women in my family, like they said, I come from boss women in our family. So it's like, not that they like are making these big bucks, but it's that they're making a difference within the family, but then also everybody else around them.
Come on.
What I gather here is that boss is not just about money. Boss is just about leadership and being
Nah, it's a
resilient.
mental, it's a
Yeah,
mental shit.
and having
Like
that
they said,
presence.
Energy.
Yeah.
Energy.
Yeah.
It's you read it off of them when you meet my grandma, when you meet my family, it's like they give off this good energy. They just have such a pure, good aura around them that you feel like as soon as you get around them, like, damn, I want to start telling this lady everything about myself. Like, I just want to be honest. I want to be truthful because it just feels like a safe place
Yeah.
to be in. And I feel like that's what a boss lady gives,
A
is
nurturing
that
place.
exactly that nurturing and
Safe, like a safe.
exactly.
Yeah,
And
for
even
sure.
some of them that are in my family aren't mothers yet, but they still have that nurturing position and that nurturing aspect about them that it's like that just automatically gives you boss energy, that gives you good aura, that gives you just good energy in a whole. And I feel like very early on I learned exactly what that was, and I try to implement that in myself, not like in that same sense of trying to be a boss and I come from women, and that's exactly what I try to do myself, is like exude that same boss energy, that good aura and that good energy as a whole throughout my life, and then some to whoever else lives that I touch or come in contact with.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
So, like, this is for like for our cultures to merge. All right. You said Donya. Donya. Like, so the women that you just explained to us, like, Donya is the name, like
Yeah.
the title.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
So like that doña, for a lot of people, just like in Latino culture, a doña would be somebody that's always in the kitchen, that's always cooking, that's always like, let's say for example, you're at
When the man
Thanksgiving.
comes home, she got
Exactly.
the
She's
food
like,
ready.
what do you want to eat? Like,
Hell
it's
yeah.
take it for example, like everybody has that picture of that one person at like family gatherings. If you guys are having a birthday or Thanksgiving, Christmas, there's
She's
always
ready
that
the
one.
whole thing.
Exactly. That's
She's
that
ready
one
to-
woman that cooked everything, that's serving everybody. That's what do you need? The kids
You
eat
can't
that,
leave the
and
table until you eat.
Exactly,
Come on.
and she the last one to eat out of everybody if she
Yeah.
does that day.
The
And
matriarch is what we call
exactly,
it,
and
yeah.
she's the
The
foundation.
stone.
She's
stone,
she's the
come on.
foundation of it. Exactly, yeah. So like that doña, or that's where that like boss comes from.
Or la jefa.
La jefa,
La
exactly.
jefa is kind of the same too.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
called. We gotta have the words pop up at the bottom for like, you know what I'm saying? Like the
What
bracket.
does that mean?
Well,
Yeah.
come on, you know.
With the little definition next to it.
Come on. Okay. Keep merging these cultures, you know.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's
One of the
why-
coolest things about the Lozano family and just your mom and your grandma is they do make people feel very welcome. Like there's no judging. And I remember coming around you guys and I was like, man, you know, I wish I had some older sisters, because you and your sisters have such a great bond where I'm like, man, if I have two brothers, I love them dearly, but there's something about a sisterhood. And now I feel like an honorary Lozano sister now, because they're all up in my stuff now too. And I just love it, you know? I just love it. I feel so loved and protected and supported, especially by your mom.
And you already a Rico, so we already family.
Period. Period.
Y'all look alike. They confuse y'all already. So it's like it's already there. It's already
I swear
there.
we're related somehow.
I feel like it's always been meant to be, because like I said, before Daisha was even born, I was playing basketball with her dad. I think me and you were in Valerie's wedding, quinceañera. I just been in your life, and then, you know, now I work with Tanya, and then here we are again. So,
I'm gonna hop in real fast. A common theme among everybody, myself included, is being raised by a mother that had to go through a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of trials and tribulations. But now looking back on that as adult men and people, how does that make you feel about understanding the actual trials that your mother had to go through? And what is something important that can be done to break that cycle so more women aren't going through this situation of being, you know, the matriarch is a beautiful title. It's an amazing title. Being a boss is an amazing title. But we're talking about this nurturing and nurturing everybody else around them.
Not everybody has that though. I met homies in my hood that don't even have a mother. Like they're
Yeah.
on some fiend, not to talk bad about them,
For sure.
but they did out their their children's lives, and
Yeah.
it was just a one father home type shit.
Yeah.
I know a family, particularly in my hood, like the dad raised like 6 boys on his own, so
Yeah, and
they grew up without that yin energy, that nurturing energy. It was just all yin. They always got beat up. It was always brawls type shit. You
so
know
that's
what
the
I'm
other side of it too.
yeah,
Right?
hell yeah. So
How
it made me
important-
appreciate like my mom, you know what I'm saying?
How important that energy
Hell
is to
yeah,
receive.
for sure.
But also, who's giving her that?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
How can we give it back?
Right. But basically, just how y'all feel about that, because again, I can relate to seeing someone struggle, and then growing up as an adult, now you're just like, damn, you did a lot. And a lot you were trying to keep from me, or a lot you were trying to like keep under wraps and not know that we were going through. But like, it's just something to think about.
I think definitely, like coming from like a child's perspective in that situation, I think that for just like a lot of you guys, I grew up without my dad too. So it's like in that situation, you have that motherly instinct, and I think that going forward, just like you guys know exactly what that's like having that mother that was the boss of everything. She was the head of the household. She made sure everything was going good. She made sure that y'all was taken care of, that y'all had what you needed to do to be kids or just grow up into adults. And I feel like going forward with that, knowing how I was brought up by all these women and not having that fatherly figure in my life, like how you guys implement that into, if you guys have kids, going into your kids' lives. Because I know for me, personally, since I'm a part of the LGBTQ plus community, I'm not gonna have that fatherly figure with my kids.
Can I ask a question? I don't mean to
Yeah.
cut you off. Have you noticed ever since you've been growing up that yang missing energy in you?
Oh,
Like your father not being
absolutely,
in there in you?
absolutely,
Yeah.
definitely, because that's like, granted, he wasn't there for my life, but he's there for my younger siblings. I'm the oldest out of 4.
Right.
So there's 4 of us all together, and I'm the oldest by 10 plus years. So if I'm 20, my younger sister, it's her birthday today, she's 10.
Yeah.
So she has that fatherly figure in her life, because for majority of mine, my dad was locked up, he was in and out of the system and stuff like that. So I think like going forward, he's being that fatherly figure in their lives, so they might have that. But I feel like for me, I think I would implement that same thing in the sense of showing my kids like you can keep going throughout that, and you can find that fatherly figure in other people in your life.
Sure,
Like
yeah.
granted, I had my mom.
Like an uncle.
Exactly. So
Big
like
homie,
for
all
me,
that type shit.
I had grandparents. I had my
Yeah.
grandfather, my mom's dad, and stuff like that. So I had those grandparents, and then also my mom's stepdad as well. That was a fatherly figure. So I think like going forward, how do you guys like especially for the men, or if you have kids or if you don't, and if you're thinking about like being that fatherly figure in your kid's life, knowing that if you grew up without a dad, how do you think like what is your perspective? How are you going to be that figure in their life that's like, since you guys grew up with just like a mom, a head of a household, and she made ends meet, how would you fix that within the, like just like implementing that into your own life with your kids?
With your family.
Yeah, with your family.
So me, it made me a better father. Like, I don't even, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even, like, I be thinking, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't need a dad when I was growing up, because I looked at the older guys in my neighborhood. Like, I wonder my dad was like that. I look at him and like, man, I wonder my dad used to get down like that. Or I wonder my dad was like that. You know what I'm saying?
That void.
Yeah, I was trying to fill in that void in the neighborhood. So, I mean, I went at it with my mom, you know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't gonna let a female tell me what to do, you know what I mean? That's the, you know what I'm saying? I'm in the streets. She used to go look for me or whatever. But with my kids, like when my dad not being there, it made me a better dad, because I don't want to leave my kids. Like, I'll do anything for my kids. Like, I even changed for my kids.
So would you say you'll share that energy with your baby mama or your wife, and not put too much on her like your mom had to carry?
Yeah, like I wouldn't let that happen, no matter what. Like, if I'm with her or not with her, I wouldn't let her go through something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, she is my kid's mom. My kids are seeing how I treat her.
Right.
So I can't treat her bogus or treat her bad in front of the kids, because they're gonna see that and be like, oh, they're not gonna see how good of a dad I am. They're gonna be like, damn, my dad's an asset to my mom. Because at the end of the day, that's the mom, and it's that, you know what I'm saying? They got that
Yeah.
bond.
And kids soak up shit like sponges,
Yeah.
you know?
Everything.
Yeah.
So it's like,
So that's being supportive of a boss, because
Yeah.
now you're breaking that weight,
Breaking that cycle.
Yeah.
that goes on and on and on, because you already recognized it from your mom,
Yeah.
and you weren't gonna do that.
no, I seen what I went through. And I seen the other guys in the neighborhood that went through. You know what I'm saying? It's like, most of the guys in my hood were like, most of us didn't have a dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, most of us didn't have a dad. There was some that had a dad. And no one said, they were, you know
Shit.
what I mean? They were
In my hood,
tougher.
I was the
whatever.
only kid without that, you know what I'm saying?
And mine, no, it was a bunch of us, bro. A bunch of us, you know what I'm saying? There's some that had them, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I wouldn't do that to my kids. Like, I wouldn't be absent to my kids. Like, no matter what, I'm gonna be in their life. If I'm with the mom or not, I'm gonna be there, you know what I'm saying? And right now it's good, so I'm with them every time I get a chance. Like, I leave from here, I'm gonna go straight to them. Play around for a little bit, an hour or two, then go to sleep. Wake up at 4 or 5 and go back to work. And the whole time, I'll call the mom like, hey, what's up? Ooh, and then I'll talk to them, you know what I mean?
This might be a little left left field, and it kind of made me think of another question, but seeing your mom, you guys, seeing your mom go through these things, does that make you treat women different when you're dating them or in a relationship with them? Does that make you have a better understanding? Because the saying is this, and I don't really believe it, but the saying is this: how he treats his mother is how he treats you. Now, I don't really believe in that. I used to think that, but
It's not true.
but does that?
That's kind of a fact though, and to an extent. Like not everyone deserves the same treatment.
Yeah.
So like some girls are playthings, some girls are like, you know, you can take them real serious. How she carries herself is how you treat her, and then like your mom plays kind of a role into that. Like all right, because my mom, she don't put herself in like a figure aspect, you know, like she's not all body. Like my mom, you know, she carries herself very well. She's smart, like she don't take no shit. She's very strong-minded. That's what I mean. Like when a person is a strong-minded person, that's a boss person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you face that adversity, so it's like based on how the girl treats herself, I'm gonna treat you like that. You know what I'm saying?
So
Can
you
I
say
say
you
something
give you
before
the
we-
energy she's giving you?
To an extent, but it's just like I don't force nothing upon nobody. So like say if you a girl that likes to have fun, all right, that's cool. Like I'm not gonna try to change you. We could have fun for a little bit. But if you a girl that's serious about life and you wanna grow, let's grow and let's water each other type shit.
So you're cool with both though?
I'm cool with both depending on where I'm at in my life though.
Okay.
Like sometimes I don't wanna talk to nobody. So
Yeah,
go
yeah.
play girls, like fuck out of here type shit.
You don't ever think like, oh man, you know what? She seems, whatever it is, troubled or whatever it is. Maybe I should try to figure out what has happened in her past to get her to this point so I can maybe help her and treat her differently.
To an extent, like I'm a good listener.
I don't think
Better
that's
than
our
a speaker.
responsibility though. I think it's an opportunity, but I don't think
Yeah.
that's our responsibility though.
Yeah.
Responsibility, but an opportunity, yes.
My father, so I grew up in a 2-parent household, all right? And in Markham, that's a south suburb, all right, Markham, Harvey. So, I'm saying this so I won't get stuck in my head, because if I start thinking, it's over with. In my household growing up, it was arguments, frequently. Like it was more of and I'm choosing to be this transparent, because I want this to be something more than just us sitting and talking,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
for what we're doing. Like arguments, and yes, there was good evenings that would just still be some thickness in the air. And there also was arguments to the point where my mother, myself, my sister, and my brother, my mother decided to leave the house and take us to different spots around the city of Chicago, all right, like different shelters. And my father, I wasn't the one where the issues was with. So I don't have a blemish of a perspective of my father. Like he's still drag racing, loving. He's my father. He's been a good father to me. But I ain't never had the experience of him being my husband, so I don't know what that's like.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm also a father, and I know I'm not the only father sitting here.
I ain't got no kids.
Come on,
You
be
think.
wise, bro.
You
What you
think.
doing with your body?
Hey, we all make choices like that.
If I don't want to be sounding like that guy, but man, bro.
Yeah. Cause I always see it, bro. Like, look, I always ask myself questions like, do I see myself me and her meeting my family? Do I see myself marrying her? If those questions are always no, hell no, I ain't. No matter how good the sex is, I'm straight.
All I'm saying is
I'm
be
out
safe.
here, y'all.
That's valid. So as a person that if you look at this person, I think you asked this question as a reflection of yourself, and you don't see them as that, then why entertain that?
Well, like we were speaking earlier, there's levels to that shit. So there's like,
Yeah.
so like there's a big difference between lust and actual interest.
For sure.
So sometimes I just need my
And there's
get
nothing
off.
wrong with either. There's nothing wrong
But
with
like
either.
after I did shrooms, there's like Nah. Hold on. Look. Let me finish this real quick. After I did shrooms, I need more than just a lust, like a nut off. I need like actual conversation now. Like you could be a big booty, all types of shit, like the shit I like. But I need a conversation. Cause look, like after that shit, that should be awkward. Like if there's no conversation after that, that should be awkward. Like, what the fuck
no
you doing in my
connection.
bed? Yeah.
There's no connection.
If there's no soul connection, like I don't know if you ever seen Avatar the movie with the big blue motherfucker, right? You know when they connect tails and shit,
Yes.
no matter what it is to a different person or
Yes, the
a plant. No, real talk though. But this is how I see it. Like if we can't connect like on that type of level, then I'm good on the sex shit. Like I'll just jack off before I even hit you up type shit.
Come
Real
on.
talk.
That's
You know
growth,
I'm
bro.
saying?
What you talking about
Yeah, you know what I'm
is
saying? 'Cause-
That's recognizing.
yeah.
I feel that because in that sense, I'm coming from a perspective, not even like somebody that falls in the limbo between gender identity. So for me, that's like, in my sense, like what I was saying, like I would change that for my kids because I know personally I would be with a woman or somebody that is between that limbo just like me that is gender non-conforming. In that same sense, I feel like what I saw my mom go through when I was a shorty, I wouldn't put my significant other through that because I know that for me, I would be with a girl or anybody that's within just like me. So in that sense, I feel like you were saying too, if there's no connection there, then there's not gonna be, there's nothing else coming from it.
Right.
In that sense, and I've definitely been in that same boat too, where it's like,
Should be
y'all
awkward as
said,
hell.
exactly. So it's like you have to have a connection, and just like everything else, you also got to know that not every other woman or somebody else that you're talking to is going to be on that same level as you. So
Right.
it's like about that matching energy situation. So it's like you got to also make sure. And granted, it's not your liability to make sure that somebody else ends up coming on that same level as you. But
Right.
it's always like this is always putting that out there. Like this is the level I'm on, and if you can't meet that same level, then we need to talk about what this is.
Or it's cool because we all connect to different songs, different art, different cars.
Exactly.
We all connect to different shit. So if we can't connect, then that's cool. Like no attachment. I accept for what it is. No hate. Like I'm gonna bail out. I'm gone. Like you know what I'm saying. Respectfully though.
I want to say
Keep the
one
test stuff,
like one more thing, like as it relates. Are we still recording or no? We like
Yeah,
pause.
we're still recording. Yeah.
So like me not knowing my father as my mother's husband, to the point where she felt it was best to take the family someplace else. Like it impacts how I communicate and co-parent with my daughter's mom. You know, and like that, because to the standards that we saying, like my daughter's mom is a boss.
Okay.
All right. And like the child in me who doesn't know my father as my mom's wife makes me curious of me as my co-parent's previous partner. So like how does that impact how I show up for what may be a boss? Because she also could be tripping, and she also could not be tripping. All right. So like, how does that show up in my life? Because this is me getting out of my head. Like, let me just be over transparent right now. All right.
You're bringing that trauma into. It is trauma.
It's
trauma.
definitely for
Yes,
sure
it's
trauma.
You bring it into your life, into your experience,
Shit.
into how you're gonna move forward with your children and your children.
But let me say this though, like you asked the question, like knowing what our mothers have been through, how does that impact how we date?
Yeah.
Like for me, I'm the type to be saying okay sometimes. Like I'm a big okay person. Like you want it, come on, we gone. All
Yeah,
right.
what do you mean by that? Like, okay,
Like,
type shit.
Agreeing.
scenarios.
He
Like
rather not go into the confrontation. He's
I don't
just
want
gonna
no
be like-
confrontations.
He's gonna be like, all right, whatever, cool,
You know,
good.
and like,
It chills you out.
but it requires a certain level of maturity though.
True.
So like for
But you
me,
can't be a pushover either. You
I'm
gotta be-
definitely far from a pushover.
Wait.
Yeah,
don't
I
know,
just don't
What's
like.
the difference between a pushover and a confrontational person?
I think a confrontational, so I believe that confrontations can be healthy as long as both parties are able to talk about, like objectively, what took place,
Yeah.
take accountability for their contribution, come to a collective understanding of what happened, even if we disagree, and then come to a point of what we want to take place in the future, and then our contributions to that, and then agree to do it, and with grace, knowing that it's gonna take at least 4 to 5 times for us to remember it. All right, and like let it actually moving forward type shit. Feel me?
Acting like an okay person.
I ain't about to smoke. I might be having to take a drug test real soon, but I'll refill my
person
cup.
is just gonna avoid all that, whether the conflict is going to be positive or it's gonna make you grow. I feel like an okay person is gonna be like, you know what, I'm just not gonna even go there, let's just.
Do y'all like that as women? Do y'all like an okay dude? Like, you don't
Not
like
a pushover guy. It ain't. It's far from being a pushover.
Right.
But like, this is the last statement I'm gonna say as it relates to what I'm saying. Then I'm gonna pause for a second. So like, what it looks like me supporting my child's mother as a boss is like, I know what I know, but I also know there's things that I don't know. So like,
Facts.
like let me not try to double click what she says or ask me for things and just be like, cool, I'ma send it. Or let me just like, hey, I can't send that. Or like let me just make sure that I'm being as transparent as possible at all times. And let me just try to believe her perspective, even if I disagree with that shit 100%. You know, because I know I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Because you know yourself. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm some trauma trigger happy ass guy, because I'm far from that. Like we just meeting, but like I believe like you all would know me the best, and like how I represent myself. Like I am, as my brother Heavy says, I do the work daily to be who I say I am, and I am that person. All right, so in this situation, which is one that I never thought that I would be in, and like imagining that my daughter's mother is a boss, not even imagine, like choosing to see her as a boss prior to this conversation without anybody saying this to me, it's like, bro, it's best to just see her as what it is and make
Accept
sure
people for who they are.
come on, even if it
Yeah.
ain't a reality that I want for myself.
Right, that's a
dope
fact,
Because
bro.
not a lot of people would see that as that.
And you find your own peace with
Exactly.
that shit. Yeah.
And in that sense, a lot of people wouldn't see like their baby mama as somebody that is a boss. They would just see them as like, oh, this my baby mama.
Come on.
Sometimes they won't even see them as an equal.
Yeah.
So the fact that you could see her as a boss that's dope.
Yeah. And you say that's how you can find your peace. Boy, I ain't found no peace. Peace is at the end of the journey, and I'm trying my best to stay on that journey. You see what I'm saying? Because my daughter's in another state.
Yeah.
So I gotta travel back and forth, you feel me?
Right.
You know, or just move to a whole nother state.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, bro, respect this person, love this person. Like as the
Accept
church,
that person.
Come on, as
That's
the
what
church
it is.
say,
That's what I
love them
meant.
with
Like
the love of God.
when you accept people and things,
Come on.
you just got that peace. You like chill.
Come
You
on.
see, it is what it is type shit.
It is what it is,
Yeah,
you know.
you know what I'm saying?
So that's what I wanted to contribute to this, to what we saying as far as bosses, G.
Yeah.
You know, and how does seeing what my mom went through, which included us, how does it impact how I date? Like more than even dating, how does it impact a boss that I am forever connected with through the connection of my child? You know, so yeah, that's what it is.
In that sense, that'll be for when your child grows up. That's gonna be her first encounter with a boss, and
Come
that'll
on.
be her mom or that'll be her grandma or whatever the case may be, and she'll always look back at it like my dad saw my mom as a boss,
And treated her.
as such.
Yeah.
Come on. Now there is another perspective to it also. That like
What you
it's like a barbershop perspective that I'd be terrified to go on the record talking about right now. You know what I'm saying? But like,
Ain't no woman allowed in there.
ain't no
Stop
You know
playing.
what I'm saying?
Stop playing, bro.
My barber,
Stop playing. All right.
My dad is a barber.
She grew up in the
My
barbershop.
dad is a barber.
And I
so
got my
I-
ears right there. So.
And I grew up in the barbershop, so I know exactly what that's
Yeah.
like. My dad is a barber.
That's kind of different.
Yeah, I
But
got
like-
short hair, so I go to the barbershop, but my barber is a boss woman.
Right.
Shout out Bree. She's a boss woman, and Haley knows too. She's a boss woman, and she be in that barbershop scene, so I know exactly what you're talking about. So
Come on.
that's dope in a sense, yeah.
So the next question is, what does supporting a woman look like, and what can men specifically do to support women? So what's your definition of supporting a woman? Now, again, I picked y'all to come on this because I feel like y'all support women. Well, have supported my journey. And I know for sure when I need to call on the homies, when I'm scared, when I need support, when I need advice, when I need some therapy sessions, when I need to be shown love. And I feel like with you guys, I haven't had any filter. I've been able to be exactly who I am. I've, told you males things that I've never told anybody else, and that's because I feel safe, empowered, and supported. So, what is your definition, or what does supporting a woman look like to you, and what can men do specifically to support women? We'll start with you.
Shit, be a good listener, man. Just ask questions, and they'll tell their life. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, I've met women who've been, a lot of women actually, it's sad to say, but I met a lot of women who've been like raped by like family members or like whatever the case is, And it's kind of like sad in a way, but if you ask the right questions and you just and listen, they'll talk for themselves, and you know what I mean? And they'll feel better talking about that shit, because when I just listen and hear what they say, they be like, oh, I've never told nobody ever about that, and I just met you, like, that, ooh, you know what I'm saying? And you could see it in their eyes, like, I speak for themselves. Mm-hmm. You see it in their eyes, like, they feel like a weight gone off their bodies type shit, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
I think
just listen to them, know who they are truly. Like, besides all the materialistic shit, like, just know who they are and be there for them through troubled times. That's when anybody, like, women too, like, do that for guys too, like, man, ask your man how his day been, or some sloppy toppy at the end of the day, or whatever the case is, you know what I'm saying? But know who he is though as a man though, besides all that shit.
Yeah.
Like, know who he is as a man though, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, ask him about his soul, because there's women out there who don't even ask that type of shit, you know what I mean? Like, that type of shit.
I think one of the things I always said is that for me, for dating men or a man that I would want to be with, it's important that he tries to understand my past or tries to learn about my past to understand my present and how I've gotten here. Yeah. And I think one of the things that I found mainly in dating men or allowing men into my energy in my life is that they don't stop and ask those questions, or they're really not trying to learn about
That's
my
how
past.
You know how they're going to approach you. You know what I'm saying?
Or because I feel like I can't tell them too much because men to me are very sensitive. So when I tell them something that's very sensitive to me, they also get very sensitive about it. And it becomes this thing where I'm trying to console them about, like if I was to tell you something really deep and you started to feel bad for me, and then I'm like, no, don't feel bad for me. Like, this happened to me a long time ago. And it's more like me trying to console the person for them feeling bad, and sometimes I don't want to go through that, and I feel like men, they feel bad, when you hear certain stories. But sometimes when you're telling people something, you just want them to listen and to have a better understanding of you, and then move accordingly after that. So I appreciate you said that, and we'll go to you, Mashan. What does it mean to support a woman, and what can men do to support women?
What does it mean to support a woman, and what's the second question?
And what can men do to support women?
I feel like he answered this already.
Yeah.
He's going to go ahead and do it again.
Yeah.
For me, I can't answer that question with a broad stroke. I think it really depends on like the woman and like the relationship. What does it mean to support? It can be as simple as reposting with a post. It can be a foot rub. It can be as listening, like the brother said. You can be buying something. It can be pulling up and just visiting your mom. What can men do? The things that I just kind of just said. It can be paying daycare on time. It can, it could also be communicating a date night ahead of time so you can prepare for it. It could be a trip. And these is like all different relationships that I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like supporting a woman. I got to this point as a restorative justice practitioner, as a peace circle keeper, where we hold dialogues that like remove physical representations and let the spirit shine. like I got to a point where like not seeing race and gender as accurate indicators of what to expect from someone's contribution, what they would enjoy, like as anything. And also get to a point where someone was like, no, see me as a woman because we go through different things differently as a man, as a man. So for me, I was just, it's like supporting another human. For me as a man, supporting another human, go through life, but also knowing that I don't know what the extra experiences are of a woman, which for me just gives greater grace. Not grace like I get grace to a child, but grace to like an equal who I don't know what they go through, to the point where it's not an equal, like your experience is greater than mine. Because I don't know. So that's what it looks like to me as far as supporting this human who's, I have no idea what's the extra that your life is. And what can men do? Shit, be more gracious, more patient,
Yes.
more curious, listen longer. And listen to the point where we can, because I don't do that, listen to a point where we can identify ways in which we can support. Yeah, that's a simple answer.
I think I could touch on that too, because not a lot of people realize that from a woman-loving woman perspective, that it's all like, it's something completely different. Because sometimes it's exactly the same as like a relationship like how you just described. Not a lot of people understand that we go through trials and tribulations too, and in that same sense, especially when it's a woman-loving woman relationship and we both come from different type of or similar backgrounds, that a lot of people don't realize that we go through the same thing too. And I feel like, just like Mashawn said, it's that same thing too, showing that you can listen, that you can support, that you can ask questions, that you show support when it's needed, or even if you don't think it's like, oh, I'm showing too much support, keep doing it. Because in that sense, it can be like somebody in that situation where you described of how can I better be a person in that situation when for a woman in that situation, for showing support or anything like that, being that support system. In that sense, I feel like it's the same thing in that situation too. I can't speak from a man's perspective, but I can definitely speak from a person that loves women, in that sense that like it's the same thing. Like how to show support, how to make sure that you're doing what you need to do as an individual, as a person, as a human, to show that you support other women. It could be just a friendship, like for me and Delilah, you grew up with my parents. So now that us being close friends, I know it's probably funny.
It is.
You grew up with my parents, now we're cool, we're homies. So it's like, how can I show support to Delilah in that sense of, I make sure that I'm there if you need something that you can call, that if you need support in a sense like, I need to talk about something, then I'm like, cool, I can listen.
Oh, I need to pull up.
Or if I
Come
need to
on.
pull up, then I can pull up. That
Come
too.
on.
And I feel like it goes both ways too, even in the situation where it's not a man and a woman, it goes that same route too. And to give my perspective on it, I think that's like great that you guys are here to listen and to figure out like how can, if you guys are going about it the right way, or how to go about it the right way, in that sense it is dope, because then it's like we all get to be able to hear different perspectives on how people operate, whether it is that they're with their women, they're not, they have been in the past, or for my perspective in that same situation. And like to hear with open ears and open mind is dope, because then you get a perspective of how everybody else thinks. And in that sense, from being here, it's dope to hear how you guys all think from different perspectives, because at the end of the day, it's like we all want the same shit.
Yes.
We all want the same things. So it's like to hear from different perspectives is really just like awesome. It's like it's a dope thing. I'm glad to be here. It's nice.
You know what?
Period.
Too, I think it's also like breaking like the cliche, because I feel like a lot of times with men, and I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I feel like it was like instilled in y'all to like fix things for us. And like, we don't need you to fix it. We just need you to support us through that transition. And I feel like that is like something that has been like weight on men's back. And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I feel. That you guys want to come in and be like, well, I'm going to fix it. Don't worry about it. Don't stress on it. Don't cry on it. And it's like, no, like I gotta get through it on my own. I just need you to support me through that transition.
You know, I think it's some accuracy. No, I think there's some. I think that's accurate. You know, and I'm not saying it from a man like me, validate what you're saying, but like I agree. That's the word. I agree with what you're saying. Like being a man, a male, like there's definitely this sense of like success as a man, as a father, as a husband. I'm gonna say as a man, as a husband, as a father, is ensuring my lady don't have to do nothing. And not my lady in a sense of ownership, but like the woman that I take pride in providing for and making your life heaven, like you ain't gotta do nothing, you know? And that also eliminates like a sense of fulfillment and purpose outside of, you know, and this is risky, but like cooking and, you know, like the amazing, the amazing gift of childbirth. All right, like that's an unmatched sense of fulfillment that I can imagine. Sure. But also, I've learned that women want to create, and that's foolish of me to have to learn that, potentially, you know. But like, so like, how do we redefine chivalry? Like opening door. I got to a point where it was like, are y'all equal? Get the dough in. You know what I'm saying?
They got that trash.
Come on, that shit stank. You know?
Hey, nah. Go clean that snow off your car.
I don't know. I gotta
Hey, I'm just joking.
You could, but that's like old though. That's past. You know what I'm saying? So like getting to a place where like, what does it mean to be an authentic gentleman? Because like there's things that women can't do that men can't do just physically. Some women.
We all have different
men.
roles and play those different, or should play those different
I mean,
roles.
just physically though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a petite woman can't pick up.
With Haley, me and Haley moved.
Come on, you know.
I need a strong boy. What's wrong with me?
And not seeing your physical representation as like something that makes you better, but more so than like, well, your body is a tool. Come on, you know. So I think it needs to be created, you know, and like I think it's a beautiful opportunity, not a problem, because like I feel like the Black community, we are at a place where like we need to just recreate our whole identity, because we are at odds about the identity that has been presented to us. Some see it as prideful, some see it as negative. So like, let's just recreate, reimagine what the Black community look like, come up with a whole new name, a whole new strategy, and do that shit. You know, so like saying that to say, as a man also today, because there's some guys that wouldn't sit here, like y'all, we'll be arguing with some of the guys in the barbershop. Like we'll be sitting here, like swap us out. You know what I'm saying? It would be an argument in this joint.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So like to reimagine what it means to be masculine, because like I can imagine we take pride in holding down our responsibilities so much that it could potentially be toxic. With good intentions, but we minimize.
I never came up this night.
Come on, that's so overused. You know, red flags and toxic masculinity. You know, so like that's what I would say. Like I think there's an opportunity to redefine what it means to be 100% hard body masculine in a way that doesn't impede upon a woman being everything. You know.
So in these, like you're saying, which I agree with you, showing up and listening to what your partner needs is, I lost my damn thought. Come back to me.
Come on.
Coming.
Come back to me, hold on. I'm gonna talk through it. The main thing that I'm hearing from everybody on both sides is just having a partner that listens to you and
Yes.
like listens to what you need. So it's like, are you showing up and doing what you think you need to do, or are you doing what is actually needed from the other person, man or woman? And I think with the masculinity thing, it's not a matter of like men showing up and being masculine, because if you're into masculinity, you like that. But where do we have that middle ground of, you know, coming in and being masculine and filling in that space, and again, just like not actually filling the space that needs to be filled? it's just like the listening portion.
Well,
of it. And it's from
it should be a balance.
No,
Like,
and it should be, but it's from both ways. I think it's just like a communication of your needs and also somebody actually listening to what you need on both sides. On
Yeah.
both ends. I lost what my question was, but it's gonna come back to me. And,
But you know what, the communication part is I feel like we don't speak the same language either.
Come on.
what do you mean by that?
We don't speak the same language. So I could say something to you and you're gonna totally not understand it or you're gonna take it left, vice versa. So it's like meeting on a common ground and just like rethinking the way we're gonna talk to each other. Because not to change each other, because obviously I'm gonna talk the way I talk, you're gonna talk the way you talk, but when we communicate together and we're trying to get through something, an obstacle, then we need to figure out how we're gonna talk to each other. Because that's where everything goes left, in my opinion.
Well, what matters too is the context on how you're talking to your significant other, right?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, but I could say something really simple and it's gonna come out the wrong way. Not being aggressive, not being upset, you just may take it the wrong way, vice versa. You
Right.
could say something to me and I'm like, what? No, you
Yeah, like you
didn't,
tweaking,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, so it's like really coming on some common ground, figuring out each other's language and learning how to talk to each other when we're going through those obstacles.
That's right.
I've experienced that. Like I've lived that. Like the absence
I
of that.
lived it for a long time
Come on.
and still could not get it working.
You know, I think that because I'm the type of person like I love talking. Talking to me is intimate. G.
And I don't like talking.
Gee, well, no, I'm playing.
I feel you, bro. I feel you, bro.
Huh?
why don't you think you like talking?
Because nobody was listening when I was talking for a long time, so
You
I'm
see?
And
talking.
you feel
You think,
Yes.
okay.
saying what you need to say because it's not gonna be
Do
received.
you feel like you have a big guard up to this day with men?
What?
Sorry.
Drink was good. Come on, no, I'm playing.
No, I don't got a guard no more. No, I already accepted where I'm at in my life. So.
Do you think it has to do with your past relationships?
Oh,
that you
yeah.
can't go with your next relationship? You know what I mean? Like,
No.
because you know what they say that
It's tricky, G.
They say like people you've been with, you take a little bit of them, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You take a little bit. If they're toxic, if they're bogus or whatever, a little like you've been with them, it comes with you. So you take that to your next relationship. You get it?
Nah, I don't agree.
Let's go. It does, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
I think definitely seeing it, because I feel like, just like from, for example, like knowing the two of y'all, I feel like you do in a sense take that with you in that same. You take it with a grain of salt. Like regardless if you guys think like that from your past relationship you take something with you. You might not realize it, but maybe in that past relationship y'all didn't talk, and in this new relationship you're like, I want to talk. That's something that you take with you from that past relationship, or vice versa. If it's like y'all didn't talk, if y'all did talk, and you're like, oh, we talk too much. Like sometimes I just want to go with it. Sometimes when something comes up, then we can talk. But do we got to talk about every little thing that happens? And I feel like from seeing y'all's perspective, for sure, it's like you take a little bit of something with you, because whether it's something that happened that was traumatic or something that was good, you implement that in the next relationship that you have, whether it's good or bad. And it can always be a benefit or a negative to that relationship. I always feel like you're supposed to take a little bit of something from whatever it is that you did. Whether it could be a relationship, it could be a life experience that you had. That dog said he agreed. It's like whatever you take from any type of life experience, it doesn't even have to be like a relationship.
What is useful, describe what is not.
Exactly. So you take a little bit of whatever it is that you learn with you into your life and into whatever it is that you implement after that. And it's like, you also have to think like whatever you implement into that relationship, that partner or that person or whatever it is else that you're doing, somebody else is going to take that and be like, damn, this was good or this was bad, and maybe I want to change that, or maybe I want to keep going or building from whatever that perspective is. And I think like you might not think about it, but maybe after this you'll be like, damn, maybe I have taken some stuff with me that could be beneficial to myself or to any other like aspect or avenue that you go with. You can look back at that and be like, this is what started that for me. And do I want to change it or do I want to build from it?
I agree and disagree. I just seen that that's hard, G. That serving other people is ridiculous, G. The first time I seen the design, nuts, and the tat crazy. So like I agree and disagree with the statement or with the perspective. Because like I believe that like things happen and we justify the unknown with like I'm either too much, and this is something that I've learned and I've applied it and seen it transform how I move and think, right? And it's helped me get to a space of authentic being. Things happen to us and we process it in either two ways. Like I'm too much of something, so this happened. I'm not enough of something, so this happened. So we adjust through life by trying to overcompensate from a space of authentic expression or play it down. All right. And like taking from like what happened in previous relationships for me personally, and then dating someone else, because I date seriously. Like I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm past the space of fun fucking. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my language. You know what I'm saying? But like
Nah, keep it real. Fuck it.
past, I'm saying like I'm past, and like I'm transitioned. I've transitioned out of it, but there's still like remnants of thoughts of it, to the point where I joke around with those closest to me. You know what I'm saying? But it don't ever reflect in my actions. So, like dating seriously, there was a point in time where like what I've learned from serious dating someone prior, that like I would in my mind, like I would, and it's like it creeps up, and I got to be like, where is this decision coming from? This is me justifying why the last relationship ended how it did. So let me alter myself. Like, no, bro, what do you authentically want to do in this moment? You know, so like, I think that there are things that we can learn, but like, I think learning comes with the perspective that is good. So like, I think the only and best thing to do really, and this is news, not news, but this is like, I got to apply this as well. Boy, get whole. Like, bro, sis, get whole. Get on a journey of ensuring that we not moving from a space of too much of something and not enough of something, and looking for someone else that we can be this new character with. But like, let me get to the source of who I am and then begin dating. You know what I'm saying? And like,
Yeah, know who you are.
come on.
I feel like I just actually tapped into that with my life, where I feel like I know my worth. And now it's not about like, oh, I'm too much of this, or I wasn't enough of this. It's more about, you know what? Because I do believe in love. I do believe in soulmates. So it's going to be, if there's that one person for me in this world, or it's going to just take a long time to meet that person, or that person's out there doing their thing, you know, or they might, you know, I might see them every day, but we don't know it yet. But it's not about, you know, like, if I'm too much or something. Now, when I was younger, or I wasn't really secure with who I am, I used to think that a lot. I used to think, you know, I was too much, or I wasn't enough, or whatever, you know. And now it's just like, hey, you know what? I know what I give out. And some, you know, now I look at dating and the males that I allow to enter my energy, I look at them more like as life experiences. And it's like more of, I'm learning more about myself phase too by dating them, because everybody's different, you know what I mean? So now I'm at that point, but it took a long time to get to that point as well. So
I feel like that's a segue into dating.
exactly. Cool. So these questions came about really because, you know, me and the homegirls always be talking. We're just really trying to understand y'all sometimes. It kind of just like, we just be so confused, but we love y'all. So we're just going to go right into a little hot seat, some applied pressure type of vibes. And we're going to go right into something called terminology, you know, terminology. So what does it mean when a guy says talking to, messing around, dating, you know, talking to? Yeah, what is it?
Talking to.
That's fire.
Kilo hot seat from Jimmy Fallon.
Talking to, I guess you try to get to know somebody, you know what I mean? Like,
Talking?
to them, like here and there.
Okay.
And then dating is like when you're actually, you know, going out and doing stuff, I guess.
In a committed relationship or just hanging out?
Exclusive.
That's the key word.
Are you exclusive? So, okay, the almighty word exclusive commitment. So does that mean dating mean you're in a commitment, or you just
Yeah.
still hanging out?
I think like hanging out goes back to a talking. You know what I mean? Because y'all just chilling, hanging out.
So is that the same thing?
Well, hanging out and talking, kind of.
No,
Nah, hell no.
Dating?
talking and dating.
Nah, talking
Talking and
dating
dating
is
is
different.
different.
Okay, so dating is a commitment?
Kind of.
We gotta say
look,
for me.
Look, let me say this real quick.
Say it for, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Look,
that's how we
talking
gotta
is
say it.
like I'm asking the questions. How you carry yourself, I'm gonna treat you like how you carry
Where are
yourself.
you asking these questions at though?
Nah, cause that's how I just generally talk. Like I listen to.
Were you asking it on a date?
Yeah, when I first talk to you, when I first approach
So that's
you,
a date, no?
it depends on the scenario. Every scenario is different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every scenario is different. But when I'm first talking to you, I'm gonna see it already within the first 5 minutes. I'm gonna approach you, type shit. And then dating is like, all right, if I really like this girl, what dating?
No, you say
A red flag.
you're gonna treat, no, not red flag.
Boy.
You're gonna reciprocate the energy that you're getting, right?
Right. So
does that look
girls could say, or this is not even just girls, individuals could say whatever the fuck they want, but actions and energy will speak always for themselves. So how I get that feedback from you is like, all right, this girl's really about what she's talking about. I'm gonna treat her like, and I really like her. All right, fuck all that other lust. I'm gonna generally focus on her. On the other hand, though, if this girl's like, woo, faking the fuck, I'm like, all right, this is my little plaything. I got other playthings,
So that's
whatever the
talking.
case is.
So then that would be talking. Great.
Tune it. But what I'm generally saying is talking, and then once I find out how I'm gonna approach you, then I'm like, all right, this is either a plaything, I'm not gonna fuck with it, or I'm gonna take this real serious and get to know you. And then after getting to know you, and let's say like, look, two souls jump on a boat and the river flows in life. Either that's when we all make all choices in life. So we can either ride this shit out until we figure out, hey, this ain't for us, or we're gonna hit this until like get married type shit. Well, I can't speak on that because that shit ain't never happened.
You made your evaluation and you decided that this is first thought. You decided this one, okay, no more playthings, whatever. Is that still in the talking stage, or is that now?
Nah, like we dating, we probably already for sure got intimate.
Did you establish that and talk about it and be like, hey, this is what I want, and now we are in a commitment. I don't we're not dating other people.
Yeah, is there that talking?
Well, look, I made a mistake in my second relationship where like I forced that person into a relationship. Although we were doing relationship shit, like we already lived together type shit, like, you know what I'm saying? But she was, I'm still young, like I'm only 24 type shit. And I was forcing her, like I said, into a relationship. She was already like kind of like, she wanted to explore type shit, whatever the case is, but she wasn't honest about it. So I learned after that accept people for who they are and let that shit flow as it goes. And then how that aura flows or speaks to me, then I'm gonna handle it like that. Like if it's serious, I remove all us, like social media, all type shit. I don't check out other girls type shit because I find it disrespectful if a girl checks out another man. Just like I'm not gonna do the same shit. Like everything is a balance in this world, or it should be. So I'm not gonna look at other women just like I would want you, but I don't force you to look at other men type shit. You know what I'm saying?
But before you get to that stage, right? So we're just talking about right now. Before you want to be committed and all that, you know what I'm saying? We just filling each other out. You know what I'm saying? Like I just met you. I went on a date here. Like we went to the movies. We went to eat. We went to a bar. What would you consider that?
That's still like yeah dating.
That's dating.
If we out and about type shit, we probably already like
That's dating, right?
getting physical type
I
shit.
feel like I've been on those situations, and then when I reflect back and talk to the person that I'm dating at the time, they're like, we're not dating.
Yeah, they're
Like,
doing
When
boyfriend like
look, hey, people need to be honest with themselves. Like real talk, people need to be honest with themselves and their significant other. Like, hey, I don't see you like that. Let's just have fun, or like.
honesty.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like, I told girls,
communication.
hell yeah, I
because-
tell girls what it is straight off the bat. Like, I'm not finna lie to you, cause why would I waste my time and your time? Like, I believe in soul type, so like, there might be another person that's for you, but it's just not me. I don't take it
Oh,
personal.
wait, but dating doesn't have to be you're gonna be my soulmate.
No,
We're
for
just
sure.
dating. We
But
kicking it.
like you said, honesty. Let's just be honest. Like,
Yeah,
I
and
know
then
deep down in my
let-
heart.
Let that person make their decision.
For sure. That's what I'm saying. Like balance. Like I'm gonna be honest and be like, hey, and then you be honest too, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel.
I think guys actually, I think a lot of guys aren't comfortable with being all the way, like all the way 100% real. I've been in relationships where the guy kept it up front from the gate. He was just like, look, you know what? I like you, you like me, but I'm not looking for a committed thing. Or I'm going to treat you amazing, but I'm going to date other women. And I'd be like, cool. And if, you know, I might at first be like, I don't like it. But at that point, I'm able to decide how I want to move. But what happens sometimes is males, they start doing all these things and doing boyfriend-like qualities and doing all this stuff. And then, you know, finally, you know, what we were saying earlier is that we have this wall built up because how guys be doing shit. Finally, we start to let the wall go down. And then they're like, oh, what? I didn't mean it for it to be like that. That's not what I was talking about. But we're period. We're not dating. We're just
I only met your mom and like watched your niece and nephew like 5 times. What do you
Right, exactly. So I think that's the thing, the key with the terminology thing is like,
Be honesty, right?
Yeah,
it's
but
honesty.
attachment, like when they start meeting you.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
I think
But-
guys don't understand how honesty goes a long way. And I think it's because sometimes they're either greedy and they're like, man, I don't want to be honest because then she's going to do what she's doing. Or they think they need to bamboozle us to be able to get us instead of just be like, I'm going to keep it real. If she likes me, she likes me. If she don't, she don't. That's the type of man to me it would be confident and be like, I'm going to keep it real. Baby, I love you. You're fucking amazing. But you know what? I have a hard time being committed. And, you know, but I'm going to show you a good time. We're going to have great. I'm going to make you feel like you're the one. But you know what? I can't be committed. And then we can move accordingly. The problem is that they do all these boyfriend things, and then they go, "Oh my God, I can't! I'm so surprised you like me. I didn't mean for you to like me." Like,
Nah,
what?
it could-
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
You know what
they
I mean?
probably weren't honest, but they probably were scared too. Like I see that in young girls. I see that in young girls, like and young guys too. Whatever. A lot of them are scared. Like, oh, let's just be friends with benefits. Like it's all over the internet type shit. Like let's do all this cakey shit. Yeah, whatever they.
Wait, what's the social media?
What are you talking about?
No, like I'm saying, like they'll do boyfriend and girlfriend type shit, but at the end of the day, they're just scared to get their heart broken. They never realize in life. When I realized in life, like life is a choice.
Yeah.
It's a risk. Like that relationship shit is a risk. Like either you're gonna get your heart broken or you found the one type shit. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta accept, like when you get your heart broken, let it is what it is and let that shit keep going. Like, all right, that person out of my life now, I'm gonna keep going, whatever. She hopped out the boat type shit, you know?
I guess I never even thought of that because usually I'd be like, guys are just thirsty as hell and they just want to just do what they want to do and have you know this person, but maybe they're not thinking about like, I don't want to be in a committed relationship because I'm afraid of getting hurt.
Yeah.
You gotta understand that players won't play this from the gate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they feel
Players, 10 players because they got hurt.
Oh,
You see
that's
a lot of
right.
nice
Come on,
guys
bro.
that are out
Come
there,
on.
like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Come on,
Hell yeah.
I experienced that firsthand.
Hell
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, it's like,
Come on.
like, see, I got a girl and I'm writing to her love letters and she's just looking at the women and like, you know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
goofy ass.
No,
This
that
motherfucker
shit.
goofy as hell.
Then you like, fuck that
Goofy
bitch.
bodies.
She hurt you.
People go write me letters.
Yeah,
Goofy
you know
ass
what I mean?
motherfucker.
You see
Hey,
that shit, she hurt you.
Hey,
It's
he
like-
got a point though. A lot of young girls are like that though. Like they like to be masculine. Like they like to want to dog niggas and shit. type
Come
shit.
on.
But it's like,
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
man.
So then once you get hurt, it's
They
like,
definitely
Yeah,
do. But
You see
men,
the
yeah,
girls,
men human as hell too.
Right.
I
But
feel like
social
every guy
media.
starts off like an angel and somehow something they
Oh,
get
girl hurts
tempered
him.
with. Yeah.
And then the other
for real,
side
you know what
just
I'm
makes
saying? I think one girl, for
it
real.
take one
It's
experience.
It's over
And then the
with.
other side makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I remember it clicked for me like, oh shit, women like to fuck the same way dudes do. And the same way a guy look at a woman and be like, shit, she'll get it. It clicked for me what women do the exact same thing. And when I realized that I was one of them guys with no ego saying it, but like when I realized I was one of those guys that women look at it and be like, should I fuck his ass? Boy, I was gone. Big dog energy for a long time. But not that for a long time now.
When a girl does it, she a hoe.
I wouldn't call her a hoe though, because that's disrespectful. What if she just
Nah,
in her
there's some
phase?
hoes. Stop playing, boys. There's
Hey,
some
I hear
hoes
you,
out
but
here,
then
boy.
again, I
Hey,
know some hoes
Yeah.
that's actually good people though who been traumatized.
We can't just be
out here, huh?
Maybe so. I don't judge it. You know what I'm saying? I don't judge it though. Me personally, because
There
again,
should be more men like you.
because I.
But there's some
again,
whole ass niggas too, though,
There's some
right?
whole. Come on, bro.
Come on. It's both sides. I'm not being. You know what I'm saying?
No, but the terminology, it is both sides.
Right.
The terminology is you're gonna be a pimp and I'm gonna be a hoe if we do the same shit.
That
I
ain't
would
our
say,
culture, though. That
just to
ain't
flip
us,
the
though.
script. Hey, let me say this. Just
You guys might not be thinking like
there's
that.
some pimp ass women though
Things
too.
like that.
Fuck the world.
Nah, look.
You know what I'm saying? Honestly, keeping it above.
They're not. Hey, G, check this out. There's pimp ass women too, though, right? I definitely know you mess on them. Cause there's some beta ass guys out there, like weak-minded ass individuals, and the pimp women pimp them out. It's simple facts like that. So it's both things. That plays a big part, I think. I would flip the script too.
Can I? This is what I think about it. To zoom us out back to the question. We're in it, but to zoom us out
We're
to the
talking about
question.
dating. Let's get back to that.
This is what I say. I think the transition from talking to dating is agreed upon. All right, and like talking. If you don't want if I don't want the woman that I'm talking to be talking to other guys, I need to make my intentions clear.
Yeah.
And I need to make my actions reflect what I'm asking.
Hell yeah.
And that's conversation. Like we can communicate that. And if we just talking, that means I'm in competition with whoever. If we dating, we have potentially chosen each other to see where this is going. Because like we gotta break up. Hell no. If we gotta break up if we dating. If we talking, ain't no breaking up, G.
But look, we live.
Dating,
So they're definitely.
That's real.
It seems that the men's definition of dating is different than women's.
Yes,
Wait,
I've been in this conversation recently. Yes.
can I just say this real quick? Wait, can I say this real quick? We live in a very lustful world, so you could be dating somebody, but you still have options and lust still because there's Instagram, there's Tinder, there's motherfucking cheese pot, all types of shit. Whatever the case is. Look, but what I'm trying to, cause I'm younger, so like, but what I'm saying is, look, but lust is a very strongful thing. So if I notice that a person still has lust, I'm cool on that. Like, keep that lust. You know what I'm saying?
So I think, but what I'm saying is women's definition of dating is more so y'all's definition of talking, because in your talking stage, you're allowed to see other people, correct? So, but in women's head, like dating is the action of getting to know men and you are seeing
Can y'all date multiple men?
Yes. It's
Can
dating.
y'all talk to multiple men?
yes.
What's the difference?
So what I'm saying
With neither.
Hey, have y'all ever seen?
What I'm saying is the difference for women is talking and dating are a little bit more muddled, and the next step is commitment. The two are dating and committed. Y'all are talking, dating, commitment. There's just a misstep. That's
I think we talking and committed. I don't think it's talking and committed. I
See,
think it's
that's
talking
what
and
she's
committed.
saying. That's exactly what she's saying. We have steps. Y'all just like 1, 2.
I think y'all steps is talking, dating, committed, and then their steps is talking and then committed. Yeah.
Right.
That dating falls in between.
It's like potential.
Hey,
Yeah, and
But
Have-
I feel like y'all be dating, but they just don't want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
I'm honest.
For me, if I ended on the first couple times we kicked. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, it's kicking it. Come on, we interested in each other. It's some curiosity. Let's explore. If you, no judgment to anybody else. Whatever it's called, but for me personally, you fire up a cigarette, it's over, G. You ain't making it to the next door. You know what I'm saying? That's me. No judgment. But you smoking Marlboros, it's over. We good. You know what I'm saying? We straight. You know what I'm saying?
have y'all ever been talking and been intimate with men, several men at the same time?
Earmuffs, yes.
There's nothing wrong with it.
No.
Nah, yeah, no judgment type shit.
Honestly, yes. Because you go on dates.
What about you, Delilah?
What I'm talking.
Me, I've always been like a lover, like, you know, just like if I like really like somebody, I kind of shut a lot of people off because I have like this certain amount of capacity of when I like a guy, I give him that. But things are recently changing now, and it's more just like now I'm just dating and hanging out and all those things. But usually, typically, I've always been like a one male guy, you know, always wanting one male. But recently that has changed.
But what do you call it? Dating or talking? Dating?
Dating and talking is the same to us, and then there's commitment.
I feel like talking is over the phone and FaceTime.
Talking is like,
Okay, but when you just get into it with somebody you
I'm gonna text you or I'm gonna ask you,
yeah,
let me take you on a date
Okay.
on this date.
talking and dating, yeah. But once I'm getting intimate with somebody,
That's
I
true.
probably, you know,
You're getting to
I
know
date one at a
somebody.
time. I date one at a time.
I date like multiple at a time.
Delilah.
cool.
I
So
need to double click.
But that's
We need to have a.
what we're gonna
looks
do
like part
is
two.
now we're gonna cut it. It's gonna be continued to part 2. Catch up with us. We're gonna continue this question because it's a good one. It's a hot one. Stay tuned for Table Talk with the homies. Love y'all.
you know, y'all know confused. I got dating and talking stage, bro.